Hey, it's Aaron, and today I'm with the 2024 Chevrolet Equinox EV. So there is a gas version of the Equinox, and this is the electric version. They are related in name only. There's really no similarity. The design on this is different. The size is different. The Equinox gasoline is slightly bigger, more of a traditional SUV. This is more of a wagon style SUV, shorter, smaller. Equate it to the Kia EV6, Volkswagen ID4, vehicles like that. It's about that size. So, yeah, I want to talk about this. So first, let's talk about design. This is what I was mentioning in the beginning. You can see it's much more of a wagon style, equatable to, like I said, the Kia EV6, the Volkswagen ID4. The Equinox EV has about 319 miles of range per the EPA. Real life, you're going to get around 275 to 300, depending on your driving conditions, how much of a lead foot you have, and how much of your driving mix is highway versus around town. If you drive around town, you'll get way more out of this than you will if you drive on the freeway on the regular. So, you know, for me here in Wyoming, I did my highway test, and doing that, I could say I would probably get around 290 miles of range if most of what I did was on the highway. So beautifully done. I really like this color. So it's a great color to illustrate the lines on this vehicle. You can see your charge port is here. It is a 1772, so it is the standard J-series plug. That will change as of next year, where Chevy moves to the NACS or Tesla standard. You can get a adapter. General Motors just announced a little bit ago that they are selling adapters and including them with new vehicle purchases. Where the vehicle has this plug, they have an adapter to go to the Tesla plug. FYI, good to know. I believe you can also get an adapter going the other direction if you want to go from Tesla to the J1772. I believe you can do that. So if you can't do it through GM, you can definitely do it through Amazon or somewhere. I know that. I am currently looking for a 17722 Tesla adapter because my home charger is the SAE standard, and a lot of vehicles are moving to that NACS starting next year. So I kind of need to have an adapter for that plug. Anyway, so design-wise, you can see very wagon, low to the ground, fairly short, good headroom inside despite that though. I like the design of the interior. It's very well done. And it's a good mix between futuristic tech and not, right? So it's a nice feel. I also like the fact that you don't need the key for anything. Like, you don't have to push any buttons or do anything to start the vehicle up. If the key is on you, it's in the range of the interior there, you can sit down and just put your foot on the brake and it lights up and it's ready to go. You shift the gear and drive. When you get out, same thing. The key leaves, you shut the door and it goes, oh, I guess we're done, and shuts itself off. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I won't go over charging times and stuff. They're going to vary by what sort of charger you have. On my home charger, I charged this from about, I think it was about 47% to 100% in like 4 hours. And that's a 50 amp charger, so I'm running at about 40-ish amps of input. You'll get way better at a fast charger, of course, but everybody's track is going to vary. I've done so much charging now that I realize that it is never the same, even with the same vehicle, on different plugs. So, all right, design-wise, that's what we were supposed to be talking about. So, wagon style, you can see that the windows pinch up and the back pinches down. Pretty standard design element to create that forward movement. Also, Chevy decided to kind of bulk up this rear panel here so it has a pretty good light shelf right here and bulges out a little bit to give it a little bit of muscle. Also lifts the car visually so that it looks like it's tilted forward, even though it's not. It's actually perfectly level. You have the there's two belt lines running here, so you have a belt line across here that runs all the way down and creates that little finger width shelf. Right below that is a second one. There's a line that fades in right about here and runs across and then fades out and back in through here and then creates that crease in the rear. Those two belt lines create light movement on the bodywork there. Looks really cool. I like that design a lot. Makes this bone line look a little more significant. So there's a thick bone line right here that really creates a little bulge right here to make this dip look bigger. It accentuates it so it looks deeper than it actually is. And then you have the usual running board slash I don't know, rock rail thing that most SUVs will do. Crossovers love these because they look tough even if they're just a piece of plastic. And then you can see on the Equinox logo, the E is 3 blue lines to indicate it's electric. I also like the wheels on this. These are low resistance wheels, so they're nicely done. The tires are Michelin Primacies, so these are pretty good all seasons. They are low rolling resistance, so they aren't going to be terribly great in the snow. This is all-wheel drive though, so you probably would be okay with these factory tires in most snow conditions as long as you're taking it easy. But if you're one of those people that doesn't know how to drive in the snow, I would recommend that you either not drive in the snow, that would be my preference, or get slightly better tires, something a little more grippy. Maybe some 4-season tires or even winter tires dedicated for winter driving. So anyway, you have roof rails. They are not functional as is, but you can get functional ones. The holes for the crossbars to fit are there, so you just have to get the functionality. I believe that's a dealership thing. Otherwise, that's kind of the design. I like it a lot. It looks really, really smooth. I've got a lot of compliments on this during the week here. So good looking car. I'm not going to talk about the back end, just other than I'll just tell you, and I'll show you maybe a photo. Decent cargo space, but not great. Most SUVs of this size will have a little more going on back there, but they'll also be more square. This is not square. This is more of a wagon style. So that is very, very, what's the term I'm looking for? Very on par with what you would find in similar designs like the aforementioned EV6 and ID4. So you'll get a little bit more if you go to like Tesla's Model Y, but then you get Tesla's interior, which I'm not a big fan of at all. And if you go to a more traditional shaped SUV, you will get a little more in the back. But honestly, that's more than enough for me. We did a Sam's Club run for our family of 5 and had no issues getting everything in there. So I wouldn't worry too much about cargo, even though that's a point that gets brought up a lot about this vehicle. It's a harping point. They have to have something to say bad. I don't think that's a bad point. For me, the only bad thing about this is really that it's so hard to find on the market right now. They are coming very quickly, but they are fairly hard to find on dealership lots right now. Let's see. What else do I want to say about this? I'm going to move the camera and then I'll probably just wrap this up. This time I'll stand over here so that you can see the front of the vehicle. I get complaints all the time about the front of the vehicle, not showing the front of the vehicle because I stand there and talk. So here you go. Let's see. I really like the way it drives. It's not super speedy. You will go faster if you opt for something like the Mach-E from Ford or maybe the Model Y for sure. But if you just want a family vehicle that happens to be electric, this to me is pretty neck and neck with the Kia EV6. I think I put both of them in about the same spot if I was charting the mid-size crossover EVs. I really like the Kia. I really like this one. The Volkswagen, not so much. It's got a few quirks that I find annoying, so I don't really like it as much. But this is a well done electric vehicle. Now, there is no frunk, so there's no front trunk. It's just electronics up there. In the Kia, you at least get a small trunk that's big enough to put your charging cord in, the traveling cord that comes with the car. So if that's something that will make or break a sale for you, I guess there's something. But really, I see very little difference between the two. They're extremely competitive together. So for me, I would choose based mostly on style. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm just gonna wrap this up. In the beginning, you saw all the specs. I'm not going to go over all of those because I won't remember them. I'll say something wrong and somebody will complain anyway. So yeah, that's what we got. This has been Aaron, 2024 Chevrolet Equinox EV. Talk to you again soon.